now works, she went back to school as a teacher. So I was actually talking to her last night, and actually gave me something good to talk about today talking to her. She was saying she has 2 coaches that are doing something, and one of them is at Success Club 6 and the other one is at 4. And I said, Susan, those are your coaches that you want to be working with, obviously, because they want to be doing something. And even if one isn't quite hitting Success Club 5, she's still showing she's doing the work, right? And I know Susan had helped them with their first Facebook post, similar to what I do, kind of help hold their hand when they're very first starting out. And it really made me realize, talking to her, I'm like, gosh, they're hitting Success Club, or they're at least close. If they were Emerald, they would be getting 3 customers, right? So they're doing all the work. All they have to be doing is get one person on their team so that they can sign their spouse up and become Emeralds. And it kind of made me realize and remember the importance of helping you guys remember to do that with your coaches. And I'm not saying don't get stuck if you don't have anybody doing anything, right? We don't get stuck on that. We just move forward to try to find more people who want to do something. And that's where you guys are doing really good, adding people. Most of you guys are adding people to your teams pretty consistently. In fact, I looked on Team Inspire, and I think we've added, just in general on that page, almost 60 people in the last month and a half, really, since this group started, 2.5 months maybe. Because I remember we were stuck at 450 forever, where we really just had around 450 on that page, and there's almost 60 more people. And that's really exciting. So you guys are doing the work of adding people to your teams, and then you've got to make sure you're hand-picking the people that are doing something. So that doesn't mean they're hitting Success Club. I don't want you guys to feel like, oh gosh, I don't have anybody hitting Success Club. It's like, that's okay. If you have someone that expresses a desire, when you first send them if you have a welcome email you send them, or you just get on the phone with them, whatever your process is, if they're not a discount coach and they have a desire to do something with the business, you want to work with them, right? Anybody who's not a discount coach, you're not going to drag them, but you do want to spend some time with them teaching them. So for some people, I have to break that down, like I talked about on the call last night. I have to break that down into simple steps because not everybody's a Jessie Blackard. Not everybody is right out, and Vanessa was the same way, right out of the gate hitting Success Club. That, for me, that's not normal. Usually I have to break it down for people and say, okay, let's do your first post on Facebook, and let's do your first invite and craft how you're going to talk to people. So break it down for them on their level. If you guys were on the call last night, I did really make an emphasis on if they're not doing what you teach, then that's kind of the end of you spending extra time with them. Not in a mean way. It's just you're not going to spend a whole lot of time, because you will say the same things over and over. You're going to exhaust yourself, and they're not doing it. So anyway, building your coaches to Emerald is as simple as helping them think of who they could talk to about being a coach. Right? And I know that our challengers are usually our best coaches. However, I know we talked a lot with you guys about talk to fitness professionals, people you know who are already into fitness and nutrition, people that just may want to be part of an awesome community of people who are trying to better their health and help other people. So help your coaches think of people like that. Who do you have in your life right now out of the gate that might be interested in something like this and doing what you do as a coach? Or starting their journey as a coach and using it as accountability to themselves, and having 3 people join them, or 2 people, or 1 person, whatever. So make sure you're duplicating yourself, and you are teaching your 1 or 2 or your very few. You're breaking it down for them and saying, let's make a list of people. Do you have 15 people that you could invite to the opportunity? And then you can talk to them about their spouse signing up, because some people, I get pushback on the spouse thing, but Julie Schulte has a video in the Team Inspire page. It's also, I believe, on our Team Inspire website. I think I look at him like he knows. I'm not sure if it's on our, I'll have to look and see. Carrie, do you remember if it's on there? Julie Schulte's spouse video, or had we added that yet or not?
Yeah, I think it is.
I thought it was. I'm not sure where it's at, but it's in the Team Inspire files section as well. If you scroll back, we need to get our Dropbox kind of going. We can all put stuff like that in there. But that's a really good video that explains a spouse signing up and why it's so important. Not for me and not for you, But if I would, in fact, Tyler and I have talked about a couple times, I waited like 3 months to sign him up. And sometimes I'm kicking myself now because Amber Bailey signed up after him, who is a 5-star elite coach of 2 years, I think. There are several people that signed up after him that would actually be placed under him if I would have signed him up a few months sooner. So he would have just larger volume on his strong leg if I would have signed him up ahead of time, because he is on my strong leg. So anyway, you want the spouse to be signed up as soon as possible. And Susan mentioned, she said, gosh, I wish I would have been to Emerald sooner, because she said she's had like 5 free customers since she became Emerald, and they're all like buying, and she's talked to one of them's in her challenge group, and which that's not always normal. They don't always respond, but she's had really good luck. Jesse asks, when can you sign up your second business center? Your second business center is when you're a 2-star diamond. So when you reach 2-star, you are allowed to sign yourself up as a coach under yourself, which is kind of like, what does that mean? Like, it's literally another business that I run that's underneath my first business. So it'd be like me sponsoring a Tiffany Danzy, because I build the business and I do it pretty well. So it'd be like you sponsoring yourself, a rock star coach. It's pretty awesome. So that's what I wanted to talk about as far as what I was talking to Susan about. Make sure you guys are working with your coaches to help them reach Emerald as soon as possible. Those free customers, especially if they're hitting Success Club or if they're close to it, they need to be Emerald as soon as possible. If they're not hitting Success Club, that's okay. Break it down for them. If they're not listening to anything you say, that's still okay. Go find more people. Okay. Yes, you can say something.
Okay. So this is something that Kobe and I were talking about over the weekend, but when Tiffany says break it down for your coach, what that means is if your coach is trying to get to Emerald, you want them to look at their invitation process, going from sending that personal invite all the way down to being in a challenge group and inviting that person to be a coach. So what you can do is, if they're having struggles at any point along that line, then breaking it down very simply to find out where it is that they're lacking. So if they're able to get plenty of people in a challenge group, but they can't transition any of them into a coach, then maybe have them send you some messages that they've corresponded back and forth with that challenger, and then you can kind of look at that and see where it is that, well, maybe you can word it this way, or maybe change this, or maybe approach it a little bit differently. So break down that whole process, and then also if they're if they're posting regularly and they're trying to run challenge groups, or they're trying to invite people to be a part of their challenge group, but nobody's joining the challenge group, then do the same thing. Have them send you a couple messages of them corresponding with potential challengers, and look at that process and see, well, maybe their objections are price, which seems to be a big one, and help them to understand the value of what this customer's going to buy. Because if they have that belief, and they understand what an awesome value that these potential challengers are getting, then it's not going to be such a hang up. And if the coach has a hang up with price, then chances are most of the people that they're trying to get in their challenge group are going to have an objection with price, because it just seems to work out that way, where if you have that kind of hang up with something, you're going to constantly run into the same type of objections. But if you're confident and you feel like it's a great value, you're going to project that onto the people that you talk to. So have that correspondence, be able to look at what the coaches are saying, and offer them suggestions and mentor them and help them through that process.
Yeah, the funny thing is we teach that kind of stuff. We give them the 5-step process, but people don't always listen. I mean, how many of us, I know I was like, yeah, I don't want to do it that way. I'm going to try this way first, right? I did the same thing as a coach, and most people I talked to, one of my coaches he I think came for me as a free customer, and he signed up as a coach. Actually, he was a free coach. Once you hit diamond, you get people that sign up as coaches that they don't have a sponsor. They will divvy him out to people. Doesn't happen very often, but I believe that's how he came to me. He's not doing a whole lot with the business, decided he wanted to start. Talked to him, told him to go and watch our new coach training, said I'm going to send you some videos on inviting, because I feel like if I can help people learn to invite, and if I can help them set up their contact list, then they're kind of have that foundation that they need to just go. If they have their contact list, they kind of know how to invite, they're confident in their invite process. And so I talked to him all about that. I'm going to send you these calls on inviting. I'm going to send you the test market one we just did. I'm sending you, and I want you to watch our training we have. And he goes, well, I'm just going to do a Facebook post. Right? So we teach people, but then they're like, well, I kind of want to do it this way instead. I don't want to do it your way, which is kind of silly, but we all have to do that.
But sometimes like if you can understand and you can listen to what somebody says and you can know what they're saying, but actually implementing what it is that they're saying and what you think you know is hard, or it's different, or you think that you're doing it right, but you're actually not. So having a second set of eyes take a look at it and offer suggestions. You don't necessarily need to tell them what to do, but just offer suggestions on different ways they can look at it. This might work
better, or
different
try
perspectives are good.
Carrie says the video about signing your coach or your spouse up is under the coach development tab under essentials and how to find coaches on the Team Inspire website, just in case you guys need to know that. Okay, Megan, do you have anything to add? Okay, I know this morning we talked about maybe doing, I talked with Megan about it for a second. We had our little files section that we had when we very first started this group of how close you were to diamond, like what do you need to be a diamond? And you guys have all been building and adding people to your team and helping your coaches. So I want kind of like a little update on how that has changed since we started the group. So what do you need still to be a diamond? Like, do you need one coach? Do you need 2 coaches on your left leg? Do you still need 4 coaches on your left leg? Do you need an emerald on each side? I kind of want you guys to break it down. And if you don't know, you should, right? Because if that's one of your goals, you should know how many you have left. So if you don't know, jump onto your online office and look it up so you can say it. And this isn't like I'm going to hound you or bug you if you're not close. Like, this is just sometimes it's nice to have that, like, oh, I'm closer than I thought I was, or I need to do more coach invites because I only have 3 coaches and 2 of them are inactive. Does that make sense? So who wants to be the brave person and start? Does anybody know off the top of their head?
Mine hasn't changed, so I know how it's easy to talk about. I've been totally stuck in at the coach invites. I don't know why, just have. I was talking to Megan about it yesterday. I'm like, I don't know what my crutch is these last couple months about inviting coaches, because I was like, in 1 month I had 4 sign up in a week. I was like, what the hell? But now it's just like, I can't do it. I don't know why. It's in my head. It's all me.
Yeah, what is in your head? Are you like scared? Do you feel like you don't have anyone to talk to about it?
Or because I got these people to sign up, and then the one girl, she did awesome her first month, hit success starters. Next month did great too, and then it's just like, bleh. I'm like you said, because I see her challenge groups, because I got her to add me as a min, just so I can help her. Because she doesn't really know lots of when they ask questions, she's like, what do I say? So I'm in there to help her. And now I said, I know there's people in her group. I'm like, these people are exactly like you. Like, you should talk to them about coaching. Oh, yeah, I'll do that. She never gets on any of the calls that we ever offer, on any Team Inspire, Team Fun Fit things. She doesn't do, I've never seen her post a coach invite, never seen her do any of that. So it's like, why am I bothering with this one anymore? It's just kind of like you said, if they're not willing to do the work like I'm doing, I know I'm not a coach, so I'm kind of calling the kettle pot black right now, but it's like she's not doing anything. So I'm like, am I bothering anymore? I think that's
what's going on with her inside. Did she have something happen, like personally?
Yes. Yeah, her baby daddy is a total F up. He's a meth head. He's been arrested numerous times. She's trying to get sole custody of that one child. And I know there's lots of crap that's happened, so I'm not trying to push her as much.
Right. No, I think you did perfectly, and I feel like, and someone else can pipe in if they want, but I feel like when that happens, there's usually a reason. Yeah. And being personal with that person and knowing what happened and just supporting her where she's at. And yes, letting go, right? Like support her where she's at and then let go. Because I think I was showing Jessie, and I've talked about this on here a few weeks ago. She's like, oh, you have all these good coaches, and how do you find all these good coaches? And I said, do you want to see my office? Like, do you want to see my online office? I said, I'm a 7-star diamond some days. I said, I have all these coaches in 3 business centers. And I said, there's 7 that are diamond sometimes. I said, really? I think I'm 5-star today, this week. It varies. It goes back and forth because you have to, I think it's 1 in every 10 coaches goes diamond. 1 in every 10. So if you have 8, you may not even have 1 that is going to go very far. And our friend Kobe, that he quit, corporate so he could be a coach. They are running into this reality of like, dude, this is hard. Like, it's hard to find. It's not super hard to find people that want to be a coach, right? Like recruiting people to your team, you have to open your mouth, but if you talk to 10 people, you'll probably find 1 person who says yes. Finding someone who is going to run right out of the gate and start hitting Success Club and last years doing that. Jessie and Susan and Vanessa are probably my first, and I don't know if they're going to last years, right? I had a diamond coach quit. I have diamond coaches fall out of their rank every week. That's just the reality of it. And finding someone that gets it right out of the gate this fast, you guys, that wasn't me. It took me 3 months, I think, to hit Success Club. It took me 4 months to try Shakeology, right? My coach just met me where I was at. I was willing to do the work, but she was just my friend more than she was like a drill sergeant. And the problem Kobe and Ashlyn are running into is they are like, okay, Success Club, Success Club, Success Club, hurry, 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 hurry. And people are doing it for 2 or 3 months, and then they're getting overwhelmed and they're falling off the face of the planet. Because they're like, I can't do this. It's too much at first, and they're not meeting people where they're at as much as they are like, we want you to be hitting Success Club, so you need to be hitting Success Club. And I love them dearly, and we kind of gave them some advice on it. Like, you guys have to make this about other people. You can't make it about you and your rank and you wanting to build to elite, because this is about other people. It really is. And you've heard that quote, like, coaching is so not about you. I think the first person I heard say that was Lindsay Matway. That is extremely true. Because if I just sat there and like drilled you guys, like, hurry up, you're a month late to diamond. You said you were going to, like, who does that help? That doesn't help you. That doesn't help me. That doesn't help anyone. So instead, I'm going to meet you where you're at. And if you fall off the face of the planet, I'm going to say, I am so sorry that X, Y, and Z happened. I love you as a person, and I totally understand. And bless and release. That teller hates that one. He's like, that is so stupid. Why do you say bless and release? And I'm like, no, it's true. It's like, I love you as a person. I support you with whatever. This doesn't work for everyone. Yeah. So you have to support people where they're at. So for her, support her where she's at. Find new people to work with.
Yeah, I have to, because it's going to be down to pretty much 0 shortly. It's just going to be my husband.
I think that's so normal. I mean, Carrie, how many coaches have you sponsored, and how many do you have that do something?
I don't know.
I don't even know what. I mean, I don't know either.
No, I had like 20, I had 20 something coaches at one point. Now I'm down to like 14, and 3 of them are Emerald, and they've been Emerald for almost 3 years.
Right?
Not quite 3 years, but yeah, they're like stuck in this Emerald and they can't get out. But
it's just the reality of it. It's same with Megan. Megan is sponsored a lot, and she has just a handful, right, Megan? Like a few handful. I know I have over 100 personally sponsored coaches. I haven't counted them recently because that would be a waste of my time. But I know I have over 100, And how many am I working closely with who get it? This group right here, right? I don't have like 900 people that are like, yeah, I'm going to sign up with Tiffany and I'm going to do this from the get-go. So just remember that and that can feel overwhelming, like crap, I'm never going to have anybody, but it really is all about helping people with their transformation, converting them to be a coach, teaching them what you do, but letting go of the ones who don't get it. Okay, so Leanne, Vanessa typed, she needs 3 coaches on her left leg and an emerald on each side. Jessie said she's lasting years. Okay, so Vanessa, awesome. I know you've added a couple coaches just recently, so that's awesome. Jessie, where are you at?
Okay, I added 2 new coaches over the weekend, and I think they're going to be awesome, so I put them on my weak leg. Don't kick me for it. But anyways, I have 7 on my weak leg, 2 on my strong.
I told you to put them on your weak leg, you goof.
I know. Now I'm to the point, and going back to what Leanne said, I had a strong person on my strong leg, and I was counting on her for emerald. And I also have my other person on my strong leg has 1 coach, but her husband can't sign up for whatever business he's in. So she's stuck. She has fallen off the face of the earth, though. And then the other strong one told me the other day that she quit for family reasons. She has to pull back. She's still active, but she's not working the business. And this goes back to Leanne. I was counting on her, and you can ask Tiffany. Courtney's going to be my emerald on my strong leg. How many times have I said it? And so she backed out the other day for personal reasons. And so now I'm from square one on my strong leg. But I've been also working for volume. My plan for Diamond is to get 2 more people on my strong. 1, I'm hoping will work the business. Or Whitney will start now that school, she messaged me the other day and said school's back in, so she has time away from her son to actually work the business. So I'm going to work with Whitney and put 2 more on my strong leg, and hopefully one of those will be good and not just a discount. And then I plan to push Will to emerald with 2 discounts.
And he's on your weak side where you have 7, did you say?
Yes, he's my top of my weak leg. And if one of those discount coaches ends up being a rock star on who I put on him, then great. You know, if I have someone else, I plan on putting someone good under Will also, just driving it up for me.
Yeah, remember you guys, the crapshoot where you place people, because exactly. I had no idea Jessie was going to be. I met her on my fitness page. I was like, well, I need a person here for volume or here for like rank or whatever. I just like kind of place where I think, and then later I have to go back and be like, oh crap, Jessie was a rock star. I wish she was right here. Dang it. But you know what? It is a crapshoot. You do not know. So you could put all these coaches on your weak leg and none of them do anything, and you place the one person on your strong leg who does something. You just have to deal with it later. Like when you see it happening and you see like, oh crap, I should have done this and that, whatever, can't do anything about it. And now I know I need this over here. Does that make sense? Megan and Carrie can tell you the same thing. It's a crapshoot. You do not know. You can guess, and that's why we don't get too caught up in it. It's like you do your best guess, and then don't sit there and calculate like Kelly did how much money you'd be making if that person was on your weak leg. That would be a waste of time. So yeah, just remember that with placement.
You still need good people on your strong leg too, though. If you want to advance to 5-star, you gotta have strong people on both sides.
Yeah, so. You gotta have 3 and 2, and that's actually I think Carrie and Megan know this, and you guys probably know too. Is that was my problem for 10-star. I met with the guy from corporate last week, and I had built out my weak legs so far, and he's like, you have to go put people back over on your weak side, or you can't go 10-star. And I was like, oh crap. So now I'm going back and building on the other side so that I can sponsor more people on that side and hopefully find someone else a couple more coaches that will go diamond to help me get to 10-star. So you do have to have good on both sides, and they will flip-flop too. Like your weak leg, you could build it out, and all of a sudden it's caught up to your strong leg, and you're going to be like, crap, I have to go back and build my strong leg because they're not 2 to 1 anymore, or I'm not cycling as much as I could. So yeah, you do need good coaches on both sides. Okay. Who's next? Lacey left. Megan is a diamond. Michelle, I can see your face.
I need one more person on my left and 2 on the right. And then I need 2 emeralds.
That's
So,
exciting.
yeah, so I have 2 for sure working the business and doing really well. One of them, the one that I thought would be a rock star and just be like flying past me, is not. So I was surprised. I was like, okay. So I'm waiting. I think she'll come back, and I think she's just overwhelmed with schooling and she's homeschooling. So I'm hoping after this first month, she'll be back. But I'm working more closely with my coaches to make them emerald.
Awesome. That's a great plan. Yeah, and something I realized talking to Susan last night. Oh, yeah. We need to make sure we're talking about that. Lacey, how are you doing?
Hi. I am doing okay, sort of. I have 3 coaches on each side, and I need an emerald on each side. So I guess 2 coaches and 2 emeralds. Yeah, my coaches are kind of like they're not that great at the moment, but I have high hopes for people that are coming through. I see lots of potential that's moving that direction. I keep running into people who are like, yeah, I totally want to do it. And then something happens and, same story for everybody. So it's just one of those like hurry up and wait kind of things, like once it's in their hands and there's not anything you can do unless, just encourage them and then wait for them to be ready. So just
awesome.
A second. So that's where I am.
Awesome. Anybody, Carrie or Megan, you guys have any thoughts?
I did after last week's call, kind of relating to building to diamond. I bought 2 really big whiteboards like Kobe suggested so that I could write things down. And one of the things I think that held me up, guys, is that I wasn't I didn't do a very good job of reflecting on my business and spotting what I needed to work on to grow my business, either in rank or volume. And writing stuff out on a whiteboard, it becomes very clear where your weaknesses are. So like maybe you don't have any challengers. Well, you need to start there. But if you're writing a whole bunch of names of challengers down and you have nobody in the coach potential category, then you need to work on engaging your challenges differently. Do you see what I'm saying? So if you map all that out, you start to see where your weak spots are, and then you can work on those sooner than I did.
But you're actually seeing a hole there, right? Like, because
there's going to be a hole.
What is your whiteboard? Is it in the room?
Yeah, well, no, it's over there and it's not finished.
Oh.
But I'll tell you, my hole is that I sign up new coaches and then I don't have very good success with getting them to hit Success Club, even with the ones that say they are trying. Like the ones that are actually inviting and working, like I'm struggling with those. So that's what I need to focus on is that. And then also recruiting is a huge, huge hole for me. So just writing stuff out like that. And when you get to this level, starting to be more analytical and be the CEO, like these calls are great and it's nice to have the support and the fresh ideas. But if you're the CEO of a business and something's not going right or you have something you want to improve, then think critically about it and start being more proactive instead of just going through the motions and hoping that everything works out. My kids are so loud.
They're actually not. Vanessa is saying, I felt far behind, so I'm really glad to know. And I'm like, you guys, this isn't about being far behind or at a certain, I think I love Megan's thought on that is getting that whiteboard. And Kobe told us in that call, what did he say? It was like challengers, and then there was like several categories that he said, and that's probably what Megan's referring to is like, Megan, you did challengers, right? And then what's the next category he gave us?
Potential coaches.
Okay,
and then new coaches. Coaches hitting Success Club, I think was the last. Or no, point earners. So right. Coaches who are just earning points, and then Success Club qualifiers.
Right.
So it should be like a funnel.
Right.
So you have this large group of challengers down to, the Success Club earners.
And
yeah, and if you have a big hole in the funnel at any point, like everything's going to come flooding out of it. Like you will not get it down to where you want it to be.
No, I love that. I think that's super smart to see it visually, because then it's easy to be like, oh, like Megan's saying, I'm getting coaches, but they're not qualifying for Success Club. So that would tell her, work with those coaches because they're inviting, maybe look at their invite process, like see what they're saying, because I think it starts to come so, and Tyler has to remind me of this, of like, it comes so naturally for me because I've been doing it for so long to invite someone or talk to someone and get them into a challenge group. But a new coach, they don't know how to talk to people as well. And so they can do the training, but it will serve you well to break it down for them and say, why don't you send that over to me and let me take a look at it. That's what I had a new coach sign up. And I talked to her yesterday and said, okay, I want you to write out your first challenge group or your first post on Facebook, tell your story, and I want you to write out your first invite, and I want you to send them to me. That has served me so well and that coach, like, to give them feedback and say, okay, I would take this out, I would mention this, I would flip-flop. I had one thing I tell people all the time, when they do their coaching announcement, they'll start and say, I'm a Beachbody coach. And I'll say, no, put that at the bottom. Tell your story. And then at the very end, you said, because of all this, I've decided to become a coach. Why? Because if you say that at the beginning, you are going to lose a whole market of people who are like, oh my gosh, it's one more person that is doing this coaching thing, and like unfriend, unfollow. Like I don't even tolerate that. I do that all the time when I see someone in my news feed, and I'm like, oh yeah, it works, or they're this person, because their first post is like, I am now a distributor. It's like, no. So something as simple as that for us might come more naturally, like, duh, don't say that at the beginning. A new coach may not do that. They may put it up there because they feel like it's a good thing to do. So I love that, Megan, that you suggested that, reiterated the idea of the whiteboard.
Yeah, I tell my new coaches, don't vomit Beachbody on everybody.
Yeah, but see, then that can also create like a fear of them talking about anything, because they're like, I don't want to say anything, and it's like, you got to talk about it, but you have to teach them the language almost.
Yeah, that's what I said there. I said, say it in your own words. Don't just say, oh, Beachbody this, Beachbody that. I said, tell it how it reflects in your life and how it's changed you, not just, oh my God, Beachbody is having a sale, blah, 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 puke, puke, puke. I said, you just got to slowly work it in there, because I said, as soon as everyone just sees all these posts about Beachbody and this product, that product, I said, they're going to shut their brain off from you. Well,
and telling a story is far more powerful than just selling a product, right?
Like, hers is awesome, because she's lost, before she was even a coach, she lost 60 pounds with TurboFire.
Oh, wow.
And then she gained a bit back with her second child. So then after, I think, 6 months into her mat leave, that's when she signed up as a coach. And then she's got down to her pre-baby weight again. Like, I'm like, her story is freaking awesome, but she's just, like I said, in this crap time right now. So it's hard for her to really want to push more with it. I know she wants to. She keeps telling me that. But like you said, you kind of, like you said, bless and let go.
Yeah. Carrie, do you have anything you want to add?
I don't think so. I've learned now to just work with the people who are willing to work. And like my emeralds who are just sitting there, I'm not hounding them anymore about getting to diamond, and some of them have been so close to diamond forever. And I'm just, they're not willing to meet me halfway, like not even getting on a call in a year, then I'm not going to take up my time with them. I'm going to work with my newer coaches who are willing to work. So,
right.
Yeah, I guess that's it.
No,
and as far as diamonds, I'm trying to get my husband to diamond. I'm getting close. So he has 3 on one side, 2 on the other. One's about to be emerald he's about to have 2 emeralds on his strong side. So I got to build up his other side to get to diamond. So yeah, it's like you never know who's going to work the business at all, so.
You place someone under your husband. Megan asked that, like, how do you, what did you say? How do you, prevent, or, what if someone that I signed up under my husband is a rock star, and I'm like, Lacey's under Tyler. I have several coaches under Tyler who are really good, and I'm like, well, then I guess Tyler will be a 1-star. It's just there's no, you cannot like plan it out. You just can't. You just do the best you can.
And there's nothing wrong if your husband gets to 2-star or whatever, then he starts getting a 2-star bonus.
Right.
Along with you. So, I mean.
Bank account.
But I better get 2-star before he does. He's really mad. So, yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have like the girl that signed up, the girl that signed up as a coach yesterday for me, and then the girl that signed up, was it Friday maybe? I'm not sure. Anyways, I've got 2 that I think are like gonna be run with it. And every time I say that, I eat those words, so knock on wood. But I don't know how to start with them. Like they're like, okay, where do I start? And I'm like, I freeze because the other, 6 coaches that I have completely sucked. So I don't know if it's my approach that's going wrong or what. Like I know to do the invite process. I know to teach them about that. I just don't know where to start where it's not overwhelming them. Like, is there like little steps that y'all do? And I don't even remember. You think I'd remember, but I don't. Like, I don't know where to start with them. And I don't want to overwhelm them to where they quit or feel discouraged right off the bat.
Right. I think it really depends on the person, first of all, and you asking them what they want. Like, what do you want out of this? And I asked my new coach that yesterday. I got on the phone with her. I send people to the new coach training. Whether you want to do that or you feel like it's someone that will get through the new coach training and be great, or if it's someone you need to just talk to, right? The most effective thing is that relationship, like I talked about on the call last night. So even if you skip the Team Inspire new coach training and you feel like it's going to work better to just jump on a call like this with a new coach and say, tell me what your goals are. Like, where would you love to see yourself in a year from now? That's what I did with my coach yesterday. And she said, I would love to be making like $300 a month. That would be amazing for me to make $300 a month. And I said, okay, awesome. So that gave me an idea of where to start with her. Whereas if she said, I want to make 6 figures, right, then I would have known her pace is a little faster. But I would just break it down, right? Teach them to invite, teach them about a challenge group. Tyler just mentioned you can run your first challenge group with your new coach. Megan does that regularly. I've done it several times. So Jesse, don't let it be like a reflection on you that your coaches have sucked. As long as you're making it about them and their goals and like, what do you want out of this? Okay, let's get you started on a challenge group or do your first Facebook post announcing you're a coach and help them with that. Then I think as long as you're making it about that person, then you can't lose. Does that make sense? But some of the first things I like to do is the training on Team Inspire, helping them announce they're a coach with their story, right? And you did that with me, right?
Right, yes.
And then breaking it down and saying, okay, now we need to make sure you have a contact list, right? Even though they watched the video about the contact list, some people are like, okay, yeah, that was nice, and they never make the contact list.
No one ever does. Yes.
Yes, say you need a list of people. If you don't have, you guys, I spent the first 3 months as a coach posting on Facebook once or twice a month about my group, and that worked for 3 months or 2 months. I think I had people responding, right? The 3rd month, nobody cared anymore. Everybody had already seen what I was doing. So nobody was interested. The ones that were interested had already joined my group and failed, all of them. So I finally was like, you know what? I should probably start listening to what my coach says. And I did. I made a list and I wrote down every freaking Facebook friend I had. No lie, including even if I would never invite them, I wrote down every single person on my Facebook list in a notebook. That's when I started to see massive results because I had my invite that I had perfected. I had my contact list. It made it easy. All I had to do was personalize it and invite people. And I was doing 20 to 25 a week. That's when I started hitting Success Club. So I would break it down. Contact list, their invite process, help them come up with an invite that they're comfortable sending. Well, comfortable and scared to send. And then breaking down the challenge group and helping them run their first Facebook post, inviting the contact list, and then help them with their first challenge group. Okay. That's if they need it broken down. If they're more you think they can handle the new coach training, go for it.
Okay.
So don't let it be a reflection on you doing a crappy job or anything. Okay, Heather, you are the last one. You just jumped on. We are sharing our status on Diamond. How many, like Jessie has 7 coaches on her weak leg and 2 coaches on her strong leg, and she needs an emerald on each side. So we're just kind of doing an update on that.
Okay, yeah, sorry for being late. I had company show up earlier than I had expected. So my status is still the same. I have enough coaches on my strong and weak leg, but getting them to emerald is a completely different story. I've been adding, and I've been talking to them about the importance of getting to emerald, really emphasizing like it's money left on the table by them not getting to emerald because of the volume. But for some reason, there's coaches that are just kind of afraid of trigger. And I've told them that I became emerald within a month and a half of becoming a coach. So I am really trying not to cross the line of being pushy, but I'm just like, okay, guys, really, if you're serious about this business, you need to move forward. And I have been invites to add more. I've added 2 coaches this month. So I'm just going to continue what I'm doing and continue adding coaches, and hopefully I'll get one that wants to be the emerald at some point.
Yeah. You should listen to the recording of this from the beginning. I think it might be helpful. Megan talked about a whiteboard and seeing where the holes are in your business and where you might be able to make some improvements. And hers was that she has coaches, but she's struggling to get them to hit Success Club and the importance of that. So she knows, okay, I need to obviously work with the willing, right? And for me, there's a difference between the willing and the rock stars, right? For people that are willing, I might have to just break it down for them into smaller steps, help them get over their fears, get on a call with them. Unwilling would mean like not even getting on a call with me, even scheduling a call with them doesn't happen. They don't reach out to me at all. Then there's the willing who are freaked out, right? They have reservations, they have fear. They're okay to work with. They really are. It does take slowing down and meeting them where they're at, which can be frustrating because it's like repeating, and it's trying to breathe belief and confidence into that person. But it's okay to work with them because they could end up, I was saying, I took like 4 months to even listen to my coach and actually invite. I just posted on Facebook. So I wasn't listening, but I was doing something, and I was reaching out to her and asking, for help. And she worked with me. If she would have just been like, Tiffany's not emerald, it's been a month and she's not inviting anyone to be a coach, or if she would have just dropped me, I don't know where I would be because I needed her to meet me where I was at. She was super respectful of my family and my husband that worked 3 jobs and knew I didn't want to do this all day, but she still kind of met me on my level, but I was willing. Do you know what I mean? I might not have listened the first time, but at least I was still showing a desire and showing her that I was posting. I did have that desire, but then it was up to me to start listening. And it took me like 3 or 4 months.
Right. And those coaches are the ones that are like, they have 1 or 2 challenge packs they've sold, or they've just sold a program. And I'm like, do a group anyways. You guys have done a group with me. You can lead your own group. And a couple of them have gone on to do it. And they're like, I only have 2 people. I'm like, who cares? That's awesome. Yeah. I'm celebrating that. And I'm celebrating on like my team page the fact that they started a group and they took initiative, hoping that the others see it and kind of are like, oh my gosh, what's my deal?
Right.
And I'm like, it's not only 2 people, like it's 2 lives that they could go on to become coaches. Like you never know.
Right.
So I really try to celebrate those types of things because honestly, what's sad is me like 2 years as a coach, like the fact that are doing it on their own is a big deal right now because this is like the first time this has ever happened. And I've been a coach for 2 years. And isn't that very sad? So, but I'm trying to celebrate that because I'm excited for them.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. So hopefully the rest will follow. But yeah, I think I've been doing pretty good meeting where they're at, but I do need to do more listening and be mindful of the fact that some people are just kind of afraid to take certain action.
Right.
And just them and celebrate the other areas they are rocking out. Because I think that'll confidence. So
well, and fear is super normal. It's just there's people who are willing to get to face those fears a little bit at a time, and people who just will not. They just won't. They let it cripple them.
right.
So, all right, you guys, I don't want to keep you any longer because it's been almost an hour, but let's talk in the group about how it's going to, how you guys are doing changing those, changing your teams, and how it's going with working with your coaches. Just make sure not to get stuck on the ones who don't do anything. I'm like super passionate about that because, yeah, I spent a lot of time trying to like, come on, everyone, and that just doesn't work. So we'll talk to you guys next week and in the group. Talk to you later.